What is up, consumers? Welcome back to the channel. Yes, I have a little bit different setup. That's because I moved, and I'm trying with this video maybe this mood lighting type of thing. We'll see how that one goes. And in this video, we're reviewing the laptop of tomorrow. So ever since Asus announced the Zenbook Pro Duo, the laptop with 2 screens, I wanted to get my hands on it for a review due to a number of reasons. And in my opinion, this laptop covers the majority of bases for a creative person. Now let's move on to the build quality. So this laptop is actually sort of built like a brick. The chassis itself of this laptop is very sturdy, nothing really bends, flexes, moves unnecessarily anywhere. It has a full aluminum body with something that I initially thought were leather materials used on for the laptop, but I guess it's more like fake leather type of material. You can see that on this wrist rest as well. The material resembles texture-wise leather, but I really doubt that this is leather. Nevertheless, on the scratch it is kind of nice. Also, this laptop sports the now sort of famous Asus innovation, the ergo lift hinge, that slightly raises the laptop for better cooling underneath the laptop itself. And this build quality was necessary to occupy, first of all, the biggest innovation in this laptop, the second screen, that takes half of the bottom part of the laptop, subsequently pushing the keyboard lower and the trackpad to the right side. Of course, all of these ergonomics are subject to getting used to, but main point being that Asus has used every free inch that a regular laptop chassis is providing, so nothing is wasted. Now this was the most innovative, the best looking and most exciting laptop that I tested this year. Yes, I know I did the review on the mothership, but that one is still, no one knows when that will be released. So from all the released laptops that I have tested, this wins in every category. Now, having said that, there are of course some things that I thought that Asus could have done better or differently. And some of the first ones you can see in the port selection of this laptop. Now the port selection on this laptop is very good. On one side you have the AC plug, HDMI 2.0 and USB 3 Type A port. On the other side, another USB 3 Type A port, combined headphone microphone jack, and the long coveted Thunderbolt 3 USB Type C port. And that is a welcome surprise. And maybe you've noticed, maybe not, I didn't mention any card slots, and that is the first minus that I found on this laptop, this being a creative laptop. There is nowhere to put in your memory cards. And for creative people who a lot of times use a medium which requires a memory card, would love to have something more than their cloud. And yeah, so that is, in my opinion, the first drawback. Now, if you talk about the internals or the specs of this laptop, this is a very good laptop. This one's actually a bit more powerful than my stationary PC. All the versions come with the 9th generation Intel processors, and the test unit comes with an i7-9750H processor. All models are sporting NVIDIA's RTX 2060 graphics card, and you have a wide range of RAM options available. 8, 16, 32, and this unit has 16 gigs of DDR4, 2666 MHz. Now the hard drives you can choose from are 3, a 256 GB and 512 GB SSDs, and 1 TB Intel Optane memory, and that is something I haven't really seen previously on consumer level laptops. So again, something from the higher end of technology can be found in these laptops. Now the battery in this laptop is 71 watt-hour and comes with a medium-sized charging brick, and there is actually a version available of this laptop with quick charge, which kind of charges in 15 minutes 50%, That's at least what Asus claims on their webpage. And the weight of 2.5 kilos actually makes it more on the heavier side than normal 15-inch laptops, but then again we have to consider that this is an aluminum chassis laptop, so yes, of course it will be a bit heavier than a normal laptop. Now the displays, these are the real kings in this laptop, or the main feature with which Asus would want any creative to buy this laptop. Both are 4K displays. The main display is a glossy Ultra HD OLED display, a 15-inch, and the second one is actually 14-inch, but still a 4K display. Both screens are Pantone verified and VESA certified HDR displays, but I also noticed that this laptop has a very good sound, and that is in part thanks to Harman Kardon providing some of the software tweaks. As a multimedia device, this totally can be the whole package. Now the features of the second display are virtually endless. I mean, there is a lot of things you can do on these laptops. You can drag down your screens, you can extend your screens, you can duplicate them, you can reorder them, you can save presets of applications and layouts of the screens that you want on it. Editing programs like Photoshop, DaVinci Resolve, Premiere Pro, Final Cut, you name it, that second screen really comes to life and gives you that extra place to work on. For instance, I personally edit my videos in DaVinci, so I can't really pop out all the color wheels, etc. But I can use that extra room on the screen by extending the whole application and then slightly readjusting, and then having my timelines or color wheels on the bottom screen, and then using the whole main screen as my work surface. And that was incredibly useful and easy to work on. The actual user experience using this laptop was with mixed feelings. So the keyboard was fine. It was just a normal chiclet style keyboard, but if you would attempt to use it without this wrist rest, the experience was really terrible because your wrist was always lower than the actual typing position that you would feel comfortable in. So you would have to attach this thing to it. As I said at the beginning, it doesn't attach it mechanically, or it doesn't have any magnets or anything. You just slide it in the position you want or keep it away from the laptop for your personal preference. And then with using this thing, the typing experience was significantly better. Now using the trackpad was, as it usually is with these moved trackpads, subject to getting used to. Now for me personally, I'm not really a fan of having a trackpad that far away. It takes me far longer to adjust to it. So in the majority of cases, I was using an external mouse for this. And what Asus decided is to keep the trend and build in the numpad in the trackpad, because they couldn't find the real estate on the keyboard to put an actual numpad in. Now it did work a lot better than on the previously reviewed laptops, in which the numpad on the trackpad was kind of buggy and was a bit lagging, and the latency on the inputs was noticeable. This time it was very much improved, but still it was sort of cramped and not really super convenient to use. So again, that's sort of again on the side of trying to complain about this thing. Now performance-wise, this of course is a very powerful laptop, and from all the laptops that I have reviewed on this channel and have done time spy test, this one comfortably sits in the third spot, just behind the mothership and the Zephyrus SM, beating the previously reviewed ROG Strix G model. Of course, there are still a lot of things that I haven't mentioned that aren't noticeable and notable in this laptop. For instance, the sides of the chassis are so polished that they are kind of reflective as a mirror. That's at least what Asus says in their webpage. Then there's Alexa integration, where through the LEDs of a closed laptop or an open laptop, you can see that the laptop has registered Alexa's voice command and is trying to execute it. Or the fact that on the keyboard there are also a couple of buttons for quick accessing some of the features, like turbo mode for the fans or moving down the windows for easier use with the two screens. Or that the laptop is MIL 810 certified, meaning has been tested in various extreme conditions to check if it works properly. So you see, there's a lot to comprehend about this laptop, but the fact is that this now is a laptop that creative people or those who are working with media and editing it and modifying it could really consider as a desktop replacement, because it has the power, it has the real estate on which to do certain things, and with the inclusion of the S Pen, you can really draw on these screens, and actually drawing on the matte screen was way smoother and a better experience than on the glossy main screen. I would say that this is definitely a laptop I would want for myself if I wouldn't have a desktop PC already, and if this one wouldn't cost as much as it actually costs. So yes, as I said in the beginning, this definitely is a laptop of tomorrow, not necessarily a one for the day after tomorrow, but man, if other laptop manufacturers would from time to time release something really new, innovative and fresh, we would all live in a better world, wouldn't we? Okay, thank you very much for taking your time and watching this video and my review of this laptop. Thumbs if you liked it, subs if you haven't done so yet, and see you in the next video. Goodbye!